Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. So today we are in the workshop, aka garage, but this is kind of where the magic happens, if you will. But I wanted to do kind of a quick, well, a full review on the Oknife Sentry R1. Basically, this is a folding kitchen knife, and I think it's awesome. Overall, it's awesome. So basically, what I'm going to do is talk about all the good things I like about this knife and some of the negatives, which aren't even really an issue, but overall great knife. So I guess we can start off with the blade. Now the blade is 14C 28N, which has apparently great toughness, really good edge retention, and very extreme from what the internet says and others. A really good resistance to corrosion or rust. So having this for, I don't know, I'd say about 2-3 months now, it's holding up really well. I haven't had any issues. There's really no rust spots that I can find. And I treated this knife basically just like any other kitchen knife. I cleaned it in the sink, just dish soap. Didn't really have to fully clean it after using it so many times. At first it was a bit stiff, but it definitely broke in, so the action's really good. This is writing on phosphor bronze washers, which is another plus. You don't have to worry about rust or gunk kind of slowing down the action on this knife. So I really like that. And the blade stock is so thin, I didn't really measure it. I'll put it up on screen, the thickness of the blade stock, but very thin. And what's really nice about this is it's really flexible. There's no blade play. It's just really flexible, again, since it's very thin. And again, no blade play. And I've had this for, like I said, 2 months now, almost 3. And I've used it quite often in the kitchen. But I do like that it flexes. It means it could take a bit of a beating since, you're chopping and you're kind of really pushing down on certain things. Another thing I really like is when you're using this on a cutting board or wherever you're using it, you can get that nice rocking motion. And since you have this opening, this really nice clearance for your fingers, you're really not going to knock into the board or whatever you're using to cut your ingredients on. You can really get that rocking motion. And you do have a good amount of belly on the blade edge. So again, that also adds to the rocking motion when you're cutting things. So really like the overall design, blade shape, and handle ergonomics. And I think Oknife did a great job on the heat treat. And I only say that because I have some paper here. Because this thing is still razor sharp. I have not sharpened this at all. So, I mean, it cuts through paper no problem if I can do it. Of course, the camera is adding pressure, but still razor sharp. I haven't even stropped this thing. I've cut potatoes, meat, onions. Nothing hard or crazy, but the edge is still really sharp on this thing, and I haven't even touched it. I do like the hole feature. It just makes it really easy to thumb flick. I like to use the thumb flick method. You can spidey flick it no problem, which is nice, but I kind of feel a little unsafe since it's such a large knife. Kind of feels like it wants to fly out of your hand if you spidey flick it. Not that it will, but kind of feels like it. But thumb flicking it works great. And this knife it's not drop sheddy, but it's very smooth, especially after I broke it in. So I do like the action on this knife. Now, since this is a very large knife, it fits very well in pocket. No complaints there. Deep carry pocket clip works very well. It's not reversible. So lefties are kind of left out, which is strange, because this is an Axis style lock, which is perfect for lefties and righties. But in pocket, works really well. Again, no issues. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I really like this knife. So that's it about the blade. Now let's go to the handles, which is just black G10. Beautifully contoured, so you guys can see right there. So again, ergo's very comfortable. Literally no complaints there. The pocket clip is not even a hot spot. even though it has that funky clip that Pedal Complex doesn't like. But no issues there. Again, very comfortable. Reverse grip is also very comfortable, even though you're not going to use this as a self-defense weapon, but it is there if you need to. Very comfortable. And what I really like about this knife, and since you guys know I customize pocket knives, I love that this has full liners, which means I can customize it. I can create some scales for this knife, which I will be doing here very soon. But I do like that feature. I love the blacked out hardware in the back. These are T6, they're not T8, but really no issue there for me. The pivot pin or screw hardware is T8, so that's a plus. And I do like the little blue, or the little touch of color, which is blue here. And then the pin has kind of an interesting texture or design with a little bit of blue around it just to match the screw on the other side. So the only complaint I have, and I mentioned it earlier, was that it's not left-hand carry. It would have been nice if they did reversible pocket clip access or an option. Again, that just would have made this knife, I think, one of the best up there for I guess, a class of folding kitchen knives, if that's even a thing. I know there's some other ones on Amazon, which I can't think of it. I'll put it up on screen of which one I'm talking about. I really want to try that one out as well. But I will put a link down below of this knife if you guys are interested. I highly recommend them. But I'll leave a link down to my Amazon link. Definitely helps out the channel. So if you guys are interested in picking one of these up, again, in the description down below. I believe there's $69.99, so 70 bucks. Well worth it. And yeah, that's pretty much my full review on this thing. I am definitely going to be using this next year camping. I still use it a lot in the kitchen, so maybe more videos of me cooking. I don't know. Let me know down below if you guys want to see me create some delicious dishes with this knife. That way I can just kind of show you more how it performs, and I get to eat something at the end. So really love it. Could not recommend it anymore. And like the title says, we're going to get into this fresh cacao. Well, they call it, here, let me make some room here. They call it the cacao on the cob, as you guys can see right there. I've always wanted to try fresh cacao beans because there is fruit around the cacao bean. So I'm really curious. And if you guys don't know, I live in Texas, so I'm assuming it's easier to import here since we're closer. Southern areas where fruit like this exists. So again, just really excited to try it. So let's get into it. And of course, I'll be using the R1 here to slice it open. And before I cut it open, I'm going to give you guys a close view. So I'm going to bring you guys in a lot closer. All right, let's see what this thing has got to offer. I think I'm just going to go down the center. I honestly don't know what I'm doing here since this is my first time. Maybe it's like an avocado, where you kind of have to go around. I know you guys are probably squirming because my fingers are very close to the edge here. Or maybe I got to give it a good whack. There we go. So the knife performs well even under hard material like this. But there it is. Very interesting. Kind of looks like a giant cube. Wow. It actually smells really good. Reminds me of hazelnuts in a weird way. Okay. How do I get one of these out? Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do is get a few of these out. And after I'm done eating the fruit around these beans, whatever, it's on the workbench, I don't care. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I'm actually going to be roasting these beans after, and I'm going to put them in my coffee, Apparently it has a lot of nutrients. So we'll see. Let's give this thing a taste. All right, here goes. Interesting texture. Reminds me a lot of a mango. You don't really get a lot of fruit off of it. You can see the bean on the inside there, but very transparent flesh, white flesh, and again, it is. I actually like it. Mango with a hint of a hazelnut, which I'm not surprised. That is a seed or a nut, if you will. But that's not bad. That concludes the full review of the Oknife Sentry R1. Again, link down below where you guys can pick one of these knives up. And if you ever get a chance to try a Cacao on the cob, I highly recommend it. It's actually really good. So yeah, give it a go. There's a lot more other exotic fruits that I want to try, but that's beside the point. As always, you guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.